Hello and welcome. Miscrits, one of the most popular Facebook games at the time that shut down almost a decade ago, is finally being relaunched as a non-profit fan project called Miscrits Back, free for everyone to experience. The developers have been working passionately on this game since October, and have brought back a small glimpse of how the game used to be, with much more on the way. As I'm sitting here reading this script, the devs are in the final stages of finishing up Mount Gemma and will be available in the coming week. After that, they'll start working on Sunfall Shores and beyond. For this guide, I will be covering the basics of how to play the game, such as combat and leveling up, and then we'll dive into the more advanced aspects of the game, such as rare miscrits and their locations, and statistic distribution via min-maxing. While talking about miscrit locations, I will only talk about some of the commons that can appear in the mansion in unique spots. However, I will link a video for another creator that includes the commons that you can find everywhere, so go check them out. I'll try to keep spoilers to a minimum so that you can discover some of these miscrits and their evolutions yourself. I also apologize for the sound quality, as well as my inability to speak properly without a script in front of me. With that out of the way, let's begin. So, first off, you can join the official Discord server for the project Miscrits Back, linked in the description below, and go to the updates channel. Then you click on that download link for the latest client, download it and unzip. After that, you can open the game and integrate it with a login screen. Register your account, then log in. Simple as that. Now, you'll start in the Miscrian forest with a Flue. Try to ignore the bearded, red-headed lady. Character customization isn't out yet. Anyway, your Flue will be graded C+ and have base stats in all white. But we'll get to those later. I've already progressed quite a bit, so I caught this Flue which has a better grade and different stat distribution. But just pretend I'm starting out fresh. For reference, this is the Flue I started with, the Afterburn with a C+. So, the first thing you're likely to do is, of course, to search any of these interactables for miscrits, or crits for short. You can find gold and sometimes even potions while searching, that, to be completely honest, see little use in actual gameplay. But most of the time, you'll encounter crits, like these. So we encountered a Hydrozeal, and entered the battle automatically. Now, you can either defeat the miscrit by reducing its health to 0, or by capturing it. The lower its health, the higher the chance of capturing it. I, of course, lost because I was a water type, so let's just heal him up real quick. Got it awake this time. The combat itself is turn-based and very similar to Pokemon, so fans of these types of games might enjoy it more than others. Its health is low enough for 100% capture, so I capture it right now. And there you go. I'll keep the name as is and go to the post-battle results. Or the summary, as you call it. Your miscrit gains experience based on the level of the opponent you're faced. And it varies depending on your miscrit's total level, how many you have in your party, and what area you're in. Get another battle going, another whip. If you capture a miscrit, you'll get half the experience. It's normal. I got 5 last time, but normal you should get 10. There you go. Wick's defeated. And yeah, he's automatically added to the party if there are empty slots. My Flue got enough experience, so now I can train it and level it up. You also get some gold for clearing the encounter. Each level up increases the amount of experience needed for the next, so it can get grinding in the later stages of the evolution. Your stats are randomly distributed, and increase or decrease depending on the Miscrit's main statistic in the Miscripedia. Again, we will touch on this later in the video, since for now we're just covering the basics. As you can see, there are 4 slots up here. You can only have 4 Miscrits in your party, and you can switch them out whenever you want outside of battle. You don't have to run all the way back to your house just to change your Miscrits anymore, like in the earliest versions, thankfully. The more Miscrits you have, the more experience will be evenly distributed between them. So if you want to level up 4 at once, progression will be slower. Whether you use 1, 2, 3, or 4 at a time is up to you. But focusing on leveling 2, for example, will give you 2 fully evolved Miscrits earlier than getting 4 at once. Each Miscrit has 3 evolutions, 1 for every 10 levels. For every 3 levels, it gains a new ability. Examples include elemental attacks, physical attacks, buffs, debuffs, and special ailments such as poison, sleep, and confusion, alongside their variants. The final ability is unlocked after 2 levels instead, from level 28 to level 30. This ability is usually the strongest, and will be one of your Miscrit's primary ways to attack. You can also enchant each ability by spending gold, which will either permanently buff, or give the ability additional effects. There are 6 main elemental types of Miscrits: water, fire, nature, wind, earth, and lightning. On one hand, water beats fire, fire beats nature, and nature beats water. On the other hand, wind beats earth, earth beats lightning, and lightning beats wind. There's also a quote-unquote subtype called dual element, where Miscrits such as Nanaslug is both a water and wind type, with the strengths and weaknesses of both. Consult the Miscripedia for information on their main statistics, or stats for short. The stats are as follows: health, speed, elemental attack, physical attack, elemental defense, and physical defense. Health is self-explanatory. The higher the health, the longer you stay in the fight. If it hits 0, the Miscrit faints. Speed determines how fast your Miscrit is. If your crit is faster than your opponent's, you'll start the first turn. Changing Miscrits mid-battle counts as a turn. If your Miscrit faints, it doesn't cost a turn, and the next one in line will take its place. Sometimes a Miscrit can be extremely fast and exceed the other, taking 2 turns instead of 1. This is especially prevalent when playing against other players in the arena. Elemental attack and physical attack, alongside elemental defense and physical defense, are also self-explanatory. They're abbreviated or shortened to EA, PA, ED, and PD respectively. These determine the amount of damage you can inflict and the amount of damage you will take. Use the Miscrit strengths to your advantage. We are currently in Area 1 of the Miscrian Forest, and the types of Miscrits will vary depending on where you look. If you search near the pond, for example, you'll find water-type Miscrits more abundantly. Otherwise, you're more likely to encounter fire and nature types in the trees and other greeneries such as bushes and flowers. So an example, Sparky Pine. And here is where Area 1 gets separated into Area 2. which is supposed to be blocked by an evil sorcerer known as a Magicite. Magicites serve as mini-bosses, and it is required to defeat them to permanently unlock the next area. For this guy, you'll need Miscrits at around level 10 to get past him. Take into account how he uses multiple elements that counter your current Miscrit's elements. He must secretly be a dual element. This repeats for Area 3 and Area 4, with new Miscrits to find in each one. You'll see it. There's a Magicite over here, and one up there. This is where the third Magicite resides, between Area 3 and 4. Slight spoilers ahead, so you can skip this part just in case you want to experience it yourself. At the very end of Area 4, behind the Great Tree, is the Nature Elementum, the final boss of the area. I've already defeated it, so it's not here. It's extremely tough and requires, dare I say, underhanded tactics to defeat it. Let's just say Elefauna is the main cornerstone for one such tactic. That's this one right here. Now that we covered the forest, let's warp back to the beginning. Just like that. This is the main hub, Sunfall Village. In the center, there's a wishing well that you can check for free gold or platinum every 4 hours. On the right is your home that shows most of the Miscrits you collected. If you go overboard by capturing for the perfect grade, you'll fill out the backyard with Blazebits and no other crits will show up, Tiffany. Don't worry though, there's no actual limit to the amount of Miscrits you can capture. Here's the church. You can spend 10 virtue to heal all Miscrits you own by backtracking all the way like the earliest version of the game, or spend 20 virtue anywhere else by clicking this button, as long as you have an injured Miscrit in your current party. But if you stash any injured ones away, you can't heal. Video game logic, am I right? That group of pedestals is meaningless for now. All it does is capture your progress on Slain Elementums. Here's the nature one. We won't be fighting Apollo Nox anytime soon. On the left of the wishing well are the shops. The potion shop is the only one available, and the others, such as breeding, might be implemented in time. Take it with a grain of salt, though. Past the shop is the mansion, with more unique Miscrits in the yard, as well as the first floor and the second floor. Right here. Inside, you'll mainly find wind, earth, and lightning elements, as opposed to the forest's water, fire, and nature elements. But forest Miscrits and other unique commons can also be found in here. The attic is still in progress, though. Can't get up there. And up here, we have the arena. The game's online, and you can compete with others for platinum, a valuable currency used mainly for giving bonus stats to the Miscrits you like. You can earn up to 100 platinum a week, with bonuses for a 5, 10, and 20 win streak. As you can see, I'm not doing so well because I don't really like using the meta. If you're not feeling competitive, however, you can click on the PvP button in the chat here on anyone that has commented and initiate a friendly battle with them. Just ask, and they might accept. And here's the entrance to Mount Gemma, which will likely release a few days after this video uploads. It will be the Mount Gemma we all know and love, and then some. Even the Cave of Mists and the Shack will be fully explorable, free of charge. The Sunfall shores are located at the bottom, but as I've said at the beginning, they're still working on it. And that covers the basics. Now, let's dive into the advanced version of this video. I'll try to be short but concise. Let's go back to the training menu. You may have noticed that some of these stats are in a different color. That is where luck and unluck comes in. Depending on your Miscrit's grade, its stats go up or down in value, with a scoring system from 0 to 12. 0 has all red, while 12 is all green. Grades can be measured by reading the capture percentage of the Miscrit you're currently fighting. Like so. It says 33%, so I'm guessing it's around a B. Just check it out. Not B+. Special thanks to the administrator Luminous for sharing this information with us on Discord, found pinned on the global channel. As you can see, the rarer the Miscrits, the higher the chance for a high grade one. But the rare ones are much harder to find to compensate for the higher grade. A general rule of thumb is to compare your main Miscrit stats via the Miscripedia with the luck unluck stats. If your Flue has red physical attack, for example, it is a severe downgrade, since Flue is a physical attacker. In this case, this Flue has green physical attack, so it's really good. And if your health and either physical or elemental defense are green, they're much tankier depending on your opponent. Easy to understand, right? Stats vary a lot, and you should try to aim for Miscrits with a 30% capture chance or lower, as those can have either a single red stat or two white stats. So if you get a Flue with red elemental attack, it's basically perfect. You won't even need an S plus for 27%, since you'll mainly be doing physical attacks with it. If you're happy with your current Miscrit's grade, you can spend platinum on it every level up. An additional stat point at random, right here. It's a 1 in 6 chance for each one. And you can do this up to 29 times per Miscrit. If you're unhappy with the results, like elemental attack not exceeding 100, you can retrain your Miscrit, and its level gets reverted back to 1, but all the platinum you used will be lost. But you have to be level 5. Right here. It has to be level 5. I also don't recommend insta-leveling or insta-evolving, as it costs too much platinum to begin with, and the only way to earn platinum is by either capturing unique Miscrits and evolving them, or acquiring them weekly in the arena. Now, it's time for what we all practically salivate for. Rares. Rarities are sorted by common, rare, epic, exotic, and legendary. The higher the rarity, the stronger and more unique it usually is. The higher the rarity, the stronger and more unique it usually is. According to the lead developer, rares have a 3% chance of being found, epics 1%, and exotics 0.5%. And later on, legendaries will have a 0.1% chance of being found. Right now, the 3 exotics alongside the single epic are highly sought after in the current arena meta. I'll go into this soon. In addition to Luminous' scoring system, I want to add that all exotics have a 10% capture chance, with no way of knowing its grade. They're extremely rare and might take several hours to find. A safe way of capturing them is to take a Miscrit with poison, as it always deals low fixed damage every turn, alongside using low damage abilities. Keep in mind that even if an exotic's health drops to 1, you'll still only get a 98% chance of capturing it. And knowing my luck, it might happen sooner rather than later. Even if I did get an S+ Blighted Fiender as my first exotic, but I digress. And now I will go over Miscrits from each rarity for Mare to Exotic, and show you their locations. Special thanks to Atomic on Discord for providing us with each unique location that has a chance of spawning the following Miscrits. Alternatively, you can check the pinned messages in the global channel, as before, and look into it yourself. And again, as I said at the start of the video, there's another guide that includes the regular comments in addition to the other rarities down in the description. I'll just be mentioning the unique comments with the unique locations in the mansion. Over here, you'll see it, Dead Tree. These can have Treemur in them. You can only find them on Mondays and Thursdays, according to this. If you haven't discovered it yet, you'll have to find its silhouette by doing this. Clicking these arrows, you'll find these silhouettes, and it'll tell you anyway. The ones that aren't available are labeled as none everywhere. Every day. Waddles, a fan favorite I'm sure, can be found in this one or this one. Here's Waddles. You can only find them on Mondays, Tuesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays. And apparently today is Saturday, at the time of recording. Moving on to Area 2, you'll find these palm trees. There's 1, 2, and 3. You can find dark Flue in these. And here it is. Find it on Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. I'm not sure if you can find a dark Flue on this stump with the axe in it. Here are the other dead trees for Treemur to appear in. And this little puddle over here, the blighted puddle, is where the exotic blighted Kiloray can be found. Right here. You can find them every day, but it's extremely rare. It will take you hours to find it. On the way to Zone 3, you'll find this giant flower. In it, you'll find Tulipinny. Only on Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. Then you can find Dark Flowerpiller in any of these. Right here. But only on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. As for this blighted flower here, you have a chance of finding a blighted Fiender. Right here. And finally, Zone 4. Here you will find Dark Prawnja in this bush, and then this right here. Dark Prawnja is right over here and can be found on Saturdays and Sundays. And in each of these puddles, you can find a dark Shellbee. All these 4 puddles. Dark Shellbee right here. And here you'll find Blazebit in the bush, the sunflower, and maybe the tree. I think that they've fixed it. I'm not sure. There he is. We'll get to that. And last but not least, you'll find this blighted bush over here, which contains a blighted Defilio. This is the third and final exotic. And they're all currently in the meta, of course. They're exotic after all. And now it's time to warp back. Into the mansion we go. So first off, you'll find Tongutail inside this Fireball statue. Or Flue statue, whatever you want to call it. Tongutail's over here every day. I wouldn't so much as call this unique, but you can find Wisp over here. But alternatively, you can also find it everywhere on the second floor. Now on this table, you will find Weevern. You can find Treemur in either of these statues. In this globe, and this monkey statue, you can find Rafiery. Over here. And then you can also find it everywhere, up on the mansion, second floor. Then back to this globe, and this quirk statue, you can find Thundercracker. And to finish this floor off, in the monkey statue and this dresser, you can find Raldio. Alternatively, again, on the second floor. Time to move up. On this table and this cupboard over here, you can find Spinnerette. It's one of the commons. Then you can find Narlope on this over here and this over here. Narlope over here. Humbug can also be found in either one of these. And then Slithero can be found in this statue, this chair, or this table. Now for the rares. You can find Flutterpat in here. And on this side, in the Fossilia statue, you can also find another Blazebit. Another for reference over here. I'm not sure if it is also in the water and food bowl, but you can check if you want. And finally, in the Flue/Fireball statue, you'll find Nanaslug. Right here. This is currently the only epic. And that's about it. Whether you're an old fan like myself, playing for nostalgia, or a new player that stumbled upon this game by chance, I'm sure you'll appreciate the amount of effort they've put into reviving this beloved game. Even going so far as to make new variants of Miscrits such as Dark Shellbee and Blighted Fiender, drawn by the main artist Kaze. For reference. Also for reference. You know, I think I'm starting to connect the dots. Kaze means wind in Japanese. And Blighted Fiender is a wind type. Coincidence? Huge props to the entire development team for the lengths they'll go to by providing assets, adding new content, and readjusting existing content to improve the longevity of the game. An extra special thanks to lead developer and coder GK, or Vlad, for making this revival possible. I also couldn't have made this video without the pictures of locations and advice from the Discord members. so I have credited them accordingly for helping me understand the game's overall system, and finding the rare locations for each Miscrit. Thanks for watching this video all the way through. And if you end up taking an interest in the game, you can support the devs by donating if you're feeling generous. And with that, take it easy and have fun. Imagine me sleeping in the bed like that.